Alright, so today we're going to be talking about divisibility rules. Basically, we're just going to be talking about how you can figure out if a number is divisible by any number 2 through 10, real easy, real quick. Just really simple rules, right? So let's start off with a fairly simple one. Which number is divisible by 2? And on these yellow flashcards, I have sort of like the rule that you can use to see real quick which one it is. Now 2 is pretty simple. Any number divisible by 2 is when it ends in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, right? So, put this here. You can see that my Sharpie kind of bled through because I don't plan ahead, but as the infamous Hannah Montana said, everybody makes mistakes. So, we're moving on. Alright, so, let's look at these two numbers. So, immediately I see that 80 ends with 0, so it must be divisible by 2. Another way to figure out if a number is divisible by 2 is if it's even or not. You notice that any number that ends with these numbers is always going to be even, right? So, this is divisible by 2. Alright. Let's move on to divisible by 3. The rule for divisible by 3 is when the sum of its digits are divisible by 3. So essentially, we're just going to add up these numbers, and if that number is divisible by 3, then this entire number is divisible by 3. Okay? So, let's start off with this one. So, 2 plus 7 plus 3, so 2 plus 7 is 9, 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 versus 2 plus 7 is 9, 9 plus 2 is 11. So, I know that 12 is divisible by 3, so this must be the number that is divisible by 3. See, these rules are really just quick and easy. They're, like, for example, I would never be able to tell if this was divisible by 3 without this rule. This number isn't, like, small enough for me to know. Like, for example, if it was 27, I'd be like, yeah, it's divisible by 3. That's 9. Alright? So, let's move on to divisible by 4. Any number is divisible by 4 when the last two digits are a number divisible by 4. So, with this rule, we essentially just look at these two numbers. So you can see that the last two digits make up 24 for A and 26 for B. Now, I know that 26 is not divisible by 4, right? Evenly, it's not divisible. It'll have a remainder. 24, on the other hand, is divisible by 4. You get 6. 6 times 4 is 24. So, A is divisible by 4. Now let's move on to divisible by 5. I think this is, once again, a pretty simple rule, right? It's not really that hard. Not really hard to remember. So, a number is divisible by 5 when it ends in 0 or 5, right? So, I notice you focus on the ones place, I guess you'd call it, and you notice that 350 is divisible by 0. 351, or not divisible by 0, excuse me. You see that 350 ends in 0, right? So this must be the number that is divisible by 5. Alright, next one is which number is divisible by 6. So our rule for if a number is divisible by 6 is when it is divisible by both 2 and 3, right? So it has to meet those two requirements. So instantly off the bat, I see that our first number, 233, is not divisible by 2, right? It has to be even, so ending in 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so that already tells me that B is our answer. But we can double check it by using our rule for if a number is divisible by 3, if all the digits add up to a number divisible by 3. So 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 plus 4 is 9, 9 is divisible by 3, and we have an even number in our ones, so 234 is divisible by 6, right? Now, for this next one, 7 and 8 are grouped together because they actually have the same rule. And that rule is that there is no rule, right? So, essentially, 7 and 8, you just have to divide the number in your calculator or divide it manually. I have a calculator on hand here, so Let's see here. Let's just divide both numbers. 504 divided by 7 and 505 divided by 7. So we can see that 504 is divisible by 7. I'm pretty sure I picked a number that's divisible by 8 too. Yes, I did. Alright. So, yeah, there's no rule. It's kind of lame. But, I mean, there's rules for everything else, so. Okay. So, now let's talk about what's divisible by 9. 9 is kind of like the rule for 3 in that you have to have the sum of its digits be divisible by 9. Right? So let's add them up. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 plus 3 is 10. 9 is the number that is divisible by 9. It would be 1. So, A must be our answer. Right? And then this last one is a little bit like 5, and I think it's pretty simple. It's pretty easy to remember. It must end in 0, right? So our answer here is 550. And that's essentially just how easy these divisibility rules are. Ooh, it's the end screen. Click on one of these links to be directed to that playlist. And don't forget to subscribe!